Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and you're safe. I'm just back from a trip to Milan and I've actually enjoyed it, so I'm excited to be back. So let's get straight into it. So today we're going to be talking about unforgiveness. So unforgiveness is the unwillingness to forgive somebody that's offended us. So if, let's say, if your friend has done something to you, and because what they've done has hurt you so much, basically you're not willing to forgive them. So that's an example of what unforgiveness is. And the verse I want us to look at is Matthew 18 verse 22 to 35. That verse advises us about having compassion for others. So in this Bible verse, it has a story of a man who owed another man 10,000 talents. And he went to the man that he owed that money and he asked for forgiveness. Please, I'm sorry, I can't pay that much money and all that. So the man forgave him. But the same man who owed that man 10,000 talents went out of the place and met somebody who owed him even much cheaper. It was 100 denarii, which was much cheaper money than the 10,000 talents. This time, he decided to choke the man. It's a funny story, but it's a story that you learn something from. So he decided to choke the man. He was very angry, extremely, and this time he didn't even want to forgive that man. So the man who he owed 10,000 talents found out about this, and he called him and goes, I forgive you. You owed me loads of money, and I forgive you. So how come you haven't forgiven this person who doesn't need to owe you that much? So this story tells us about unforgiveness and having compassion for others. That sometimes people may do things in your life or may do something to hurt you. But we have to learn as believers to forgive. So there are signs of unforgiveness that we have to think about. So these are some of the signs of unforgiveness. So there's bitterness and vengeance, which will impact our emotions. There is outbursts of anger, being petty or impulsive, and you can only think about the negative things about the person. So sometimes, because they've done something so bad that it's hurt you, everything that they do just annoys you. You're just literally like, oh my God, everything that they do annoys you. There's being unable to let go of that event. So the event keeps replaying your mind. If they've done something to you, you keep thinking about it every time, even if it's years from now. That's a sign of unforgiveness. Another sign is saying that you've forgiven them, but you never forget. I think many of us say that. Oh, I've forgiven them, but I'm never forgetting that. There's a saying that says you can't enter prayer with bitterness and unforgiveness and come out with blessings. So you can't enter into prayer with bitterness and unforgiveness and come out with blessings. So unforgiveness can hinder your prayer. It can actually hinder your relationship with God. And Matthew 18:22, when Jesus answered, before he even told the story, he says, I say to you, not up to 7 times, but 70 times 7. So this means that Jesus wants us to be constantly forgiving others. So when he was asked how many times he has to forgive others, he was saying it should be a constant thing. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to let go of unforgiveness, the steps you can take to help you. So if you're struggling with unforgiveness, and it's okay, we all have something that we struggle with, and sometimes it may be unforgiveness. I'm going to give you some tips that will help you so that you'll be able to let go of that unforgiveness in your heart. So the first one is acknowledge that you have unforgiveness, and you must understand that this is the decision that you must make. So you have to acknowledge that actually, looking at these signs that I've already said, or thinking about or praying about it, I may have unforgiveness in my heart. So the verse that I want us to look at is Psalm 32 verse 5, which says, I acknowledge my sin to you, and I do not hide my wickedness. I said, I will confess all my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt in my sin. So looking at these signs and understanding that you may have unforgiveness is very helpful. And this can be the first steps to help you to deal with unforgiveness in your heart. Acknowledging that maybe I'm still holding that thing that somebody's done to me. So the next thing is that ask God to help you. So once you've acknowledged that you have unforgiveness in your heart, it is important to ask God to help you with it. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. So God is saying that if we humble ourselves, so we've acknowledged that we have unforgiveness, now seek God, because He's the one who's able to help you through this. Seek God, pray to God, God, I'm struggling with this. I want you to help me, teach me how I can forgive and let go. And God will not turn His back on you. When you seek His face, He would surely help you with unforgiveness. So it is important to ask God for help. So the next one is, don't try to get revenge. Leave it to God. And literally trust in you. So you should not try to get revenge when somebody's done something to you. Just leave it to God. Romans 13:17 says, never repay anyone evil for evil. Take thought for what is right and gracious and proper in the sight of everyone. If possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. And beloved, never avenge yourself, but leave the way open for God's wrath and His judicial righteousness. For it is written in Scripture, vengeance is mine, I will repay. Do not take revenge. That's one thing I've learned. I just leave it to God. If somebody's done something against you, just leave it to God. God is saying, vengeance is mine, I will take care of it. You continue to do the right thing. You continue to seek God. It's easy to get revenge. Very simple. When somebody's done something against you, you just want to get back at them. It's very easy. But God is telling us that leave it to Him. Do not repay that evil with evil. Because it's basically saying you're similar or you're the same as the person, basically. But if you leave it to God and go, God, I'm leaving this situation in your hands. I'm going to have peace. I'm just going to let go of it and leave it to Him. He will take care of it. Even in my life, when people have done something to me, I just prayed. I'm like, oh, jeez, I'm just going to calm down. And even sometimes it took years for those people to come up to me and go, I'm sorry, this is what I did, and I'm sorry for that. Sometimes people may not even come up to you to apologize. But leave it. Let God deal with that. Trust God that He will do it, because He will do it. And just leave everything to God and you have that peace. So letting go is hard. Don't get me wrong. But it's possible. Because you know everything, everything is like in God's hands, basically. And you have that peace if you leave everything in God's hands too. So I just want to add this code to it. Unforgiveness is a sign of unbelief, as you don't believe God will do it. It's a sign that you don't believe God will help you. It's a sign that you don't believe God will take care of this situation. So you hold that unforgiveness in your heart. So the next one is, be good to them even if they never ask. Romans 12:20 says, but if your enemy is hungry, feed them. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. For by doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Oh, jeez. People can annoy you, they can get to you, even in our workplace, in schools, wherever you are. Sometimes they will keep on doing the same thing that you get frustrated and upset. But this verse is saying, be good to them, even if they do that. Still, when you're hungry, feed them. Like, when they still need help with things, still help them. It's not easy. But with God, all things are possible. You try your best. When they need help, you help them. You do good. And He says it will heap burning coals on their head. They will even start to wonder, why is this person still treating me nice? Even though I'm not being nice to the person. They will still start to wonder, why is this person act this way? Just leave everything to God and still be that person. Your attitude and your character, your reaction will have an influence on them. They can't even get to know God because of you. Just because by the way you treat them, they can't even get to know God. They'll be like, why is this person acting like that? I want to know the person who the person serves. Your attitude may have a positive impact in your life that you may never know. So leave everything to God and be good to them. And it's not easy, I know. But trust God and ask God to help you throughout all this. The next one says, pray for them. Matthew 5 verse 44 to 45 says, but I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that they may be sons of the Father who is in heaven. Just pray. Because we don't know what they're going through. Yes, they have annoyed you, they've done something that's hurt you, but we personally do not know what these people may go through. So just pray for them. Pray for these people that maybe they may be going through something that is affecting them. That's why they're reacting a certain way towards you. So seek God over every situation. Just pray, God, help me with this person. God, help me understand this person. Just pray. And you see how God will work in their lives. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything. There's been times in my life that I didn't have to do anything. I just prayed. And you see them changing, their attitude changing towards me. Just be nice to me now. And I'm just looking at God, I don't know what you're doing, but just pray. It's harder to pray for your enemy than pray for your friends. But God knows why He tells us to pray for them. So the next one is we're going to look at the benefits of forgiveness. So what will happen if you forgive others? First one says God will reward you. So Proverbs 25 verse 21 to 22 says, is your enemy hungry? Buy him lunch. Win him over with your kindness. Your surprising generosity will awaken his conscience, and God will reward you with favor. So you being generous, you being kind, may awaken something in him that they may even become a Christian. They may even want to know God. And the verse is saying that God will reward you for that. The next one is that you will have peace the moment you let go. Let me repeat it one time. You will have peace the moment you let go. Ephesians 4:31-32 says, get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Letting go. That's one thing I've realized about it. Letting go of something or somebody who's hurt you is the most peaceful thing in the world. Because whenever you hold on to grudge, it messes your mood. The grudge is affecting you more than it's affecting the person who's offended you. They're enjoying life. And you're standing there, oh, I'm so angry, they're just chilling, they don't even care. And you're being affected by that. There's so much bitterness that is in your heart. It gets to a point that you're getting people against the person, you're doing this, it's not worth it. It really isn't. Once you let go of it, that peace, the peace of God comes into your heart. That even if they do nothing, you just go, I'm just going to leave it to God. That peace, when you leave all your cares, your worry to God, is amazing. So I just want to say that we all struggle with something in life. It could be anything. And even if it's unforgiveness, just trust God. Just pray, seek God for help. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, and it may not be even easy to forgive somebody. But with God, all things are possible. So we have to learn to trust and seek Him constantly on this, and allow Him to lead you into the road of forgiveness. Because there's always going to be people who disappoint us. There's always going to be people who will hurt us. But we just need to trust God in this thing. And the last thing I want to say is that don't let others change who you are. The greatest weapon that we hold is love. Love others and love God. This is the commandment God gave us that covers all commandments. Love others and love God. So we need to remember that when we're showing that love, we're obeying God, we're seeking God on this. So when we're showing that love to others, we're following what God is telling us to do. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, comment, subscribe, and more videos are coming up soon. Bye.